Hello, everybody. Welcome. We have a great guest here today. This is Victoria. Victoria, say hello to the audience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria.
Now, Victoria is a raw foodist, and she's from Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Sweden, and she just happens to be here in the area today. So, tell everybody, how long have you been eating a raw food diet?
It's very hard to tell because I didn't go from one day to another, but it was, I would say around 11 years.
11 years. So, before that, were you into eating healthy, or were you just eating the standard diet of the world?
I kind of was eating more to a healthy lifestyle, and I was eating vegetarian. I mean, I have been eating vegetarian since I was a kid. I mean, I still ate some meat here and there if someone give it to me, but in school and so on, and if I have an option, I always go for the vegetarian because I love animals, and so I never really become vegan. I went more to a raw food diet, and I still ate some cheese, but then I got to know more information, and I tried my lifestyle without it, and of course you can try without it.
So for 11 years now, you've been eating mostly raw or all raw? Like what percentage would you say?
It's very hard to tell. Most days it's 100% raw, but sometimes, if I'm out and I might eat some tofu or tempeh, and
Sure. And do you take supplements?
No, sometimes I do. It depends a little bit on my life situation. If I'm traveling, I might take some, like magnesium, for example. I can take extra if I'm in a very stressful situation, and I can sprinkle some nutritional yeast to get more B vitamins, because that is what you get depleted on if you get very stressed, or if you are in very weird situations.
Sure. And what about your blood work? Do you often get that checked?
I usually do it once a year, so that is kind of how I balance if I need to take any supplements or not.
And have you had any health challenges since you went mostly raw vegan? Have you had any health challenges?
Yes, I have, but that is not because of the diet. It's more because of stress and other things going on in my life, like loss and so on. Yeah.
Do you care to share some of these challenges, or would you rather not?
The thing that happened is that you get very tired and you get pain, and but the raw food definitely helps me to coming back.
So you're saying when you started raw and vegan, you would get episodes where you get tired and worn out?
That is more lately, but the raw vegan diet have always helped me a lot.
Now, how do you know the raw vegan diet's helping? Because the average, how old are you?
I'm 32, but how I know it has helped me is because I compare it to how I feel if I eat something cooked or something more heavy. It takes lots of digestive work to So
you're saying on a cooked vegan diet, sometimes you don't feel great, but when you go all raw during that time, it helps improve.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
It also depends on what kind of cooked food you eat. Some things are lighter, like tofu is very light, for example, and potatoes and baked stuff or fried stuff is more heavy, so I stay away from those. So cooked starches and so on is more like protein sources I go for. Like tempeh and beans and so on.
Have you been able to identify the days you don't feel great? Like what was it? The food you ate the night before, a week ago? Have you been able to identify a connection of a particular type of food you eat when it affects you negatively?
Yes, of course. But it is usually 1 or 2 days if it affects me. So if I'm going back to what makes me feel good to eat, I'm usually very recovered from not eating that perfect.
Sure. Yeah. So what would your what if people said, well, the problem is the vegan diet? Because the vegan diet can be healthy and it can be not healthy. So what do you say to people that say, well, the reason why you don't feel great all the time at 32 is you're on a vegan diet and you need to eat meat or you need more protein? What would you say to them?
They have to choose what they eat. Many people, when they go to raw food, they eat just fruit and not enough greens and not enough sprouts. So I think that if you are craving something animal meat or whatever it is. I think it's best to just use more protein sources instead, and more fat sources also, instead of just going to the fruit, because that will just higher your blood sugar and you will get all this different cravings and so on.
So is the main reason you're eating a vegan diet is for the animals? Is that the main reason, or is health your number one reason for doing it?
For vegetarian is more because of the animal, but vegan is more because I don't need anything else. I feel very good by eating this way, and it's very good for the environmental. What do you say in English?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, but so people that eat meat, obviously, they don't feel well either. They have episodes where they don't feel great. How often do you have those periods where you don't feel your best, where you go back to raw and then you feel great? Are we talking about something like once every 6 months, or are we talking like once a week? How often are we talking about something like that?
It depends. I mean, I'm traveling a lot, so it depends on where I am and what emotional state I am at, and my stress level, and if I sleep good. I mean, diet is a very small piece in the whole thing. So, and if I eat something cooked, I usually eat just a very small amount of it. So if I have like tofu or so tempeh, I don't eat like a full block myself. I just have it as a little side, and then I have the rest of sprouts and salad and so on. So I think that is the problem that people do when they are not feeling good. Because cooked food is very easy to overeat because the volume is so small. So if I have something that I know that is it takes more digestive energy or so on, I just don't eat so much of it. So, and that, I think that is the problem, that people just eat too much and they don't feel good, and then they blame the food. Okay, this is not good because I don't feel good today. But okay, it's also different if you eat 5 avocados compared to 1, for example.
Sure. Does your mind ever play tricks on you, like, oh, I should go back to eating animals, or I should eat animal products? Do you ever get in these mind games where you think, maybe I should try this or see how I feel?
With meat and something that have ice, that's something dead. I would never, because I mean I'm too much in love with animals and so on. But I mean, if it's dairy products and if it's like raw and the cows, they are like human. They produce more milk than they need, and they get very stressed if they don't get it out. I mean, I think that could be fine, but it's not something I crave or so. It's more like I would be okay with it, But because I don't feel like I need it, it's so much easier to. And it's, if you think about what's logical and not,
Sure.
It's not logical to eat something from another animal, So.
But you are open-minded in case you felt like maybe I should try this instead of maybe taking some sort of supplement or something. You're open-minded, right? You leave things open.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not something I should do or so.
You're not planning on doing it.
No, definitely not. But I was just saying, is if it's something that I think would be a little bit okay, but I think that the solutions also it's always about what you choose for food. Sure. Because if you're craving something that we are not meant to eat, you'll probably have a deficiency, or you probably eat too little of something. Like I see many vegans eat too little protein and fat, and the high carb things going on. So I don't really believe in that.
Sure. Now, 11 years ago, when you started eating this way, how was your health back then? Did you feel just the same? What was the difference in how you feel now to how you felt back then?
I mean, I had lots of problems with that I was sick a lot. I had sore throat and lots of inflammation and injuries, and and I have IBS also. So I have tried almost everything to get rid of that, and it seems like the raw food was the thing that helped me. So yeah.
And how about your weight? Because you're a tall woman, did your weight change when you went vegan?
Yes, I gained 8 kilograms when I switched to raw food, and I think that was because it healed my IBS. So before that, I was working out. I was a elite player in badminton, for example. So I was like eating all the time, like a peanut butter jar. I was like, because I was so underweight, and I never gained weight, but I didn't absorb so much of my nutrients either. So Yeah.
So you actually gained weight when you went vegan.
Yes, I
but
did.
not like overweight, because you're not overweight.
No, definitely not, because I was very underweight before. I mean, I'm still pretty skinny, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what would your advice be, or your suggestions to be, if there were people out there, there's the ethical side of eating animals, which there are a lot of documentaries out that talk about that. What I find is people either care about that or they don't. There's no like in between there from the ethical side. But from a health standpoint, what would your message be to people, but especially women out there that are thinking of improving their health? What would your message be to them?
I think that it's important to listen on the body and not overeat, and eat and think about what food have most nutrition in it, and go for, and not be afraid of eating fats. I mean, if the fat is raw, it is not clogging up in the body. It's actually doing the opposite. So I think that is very important. And get your greens and get your sprouts, and yeah.
Sure. And what about your sleeping patterns? I mean, how often do you sleep? I know you're traveling right now.
Yeah.
And but when you're home and in your element, how many hours a night do you like to get, or do you get?
It all depends, but I usually sleep 7 hours, and that is if I'm not waking up during the night. I just sleep 7 hours in one straight. But if I wake up, I mean, it might be 8, but it also depends on what I have done through the day. If I have been a very hard workout day, or lots of work, or if it's a bit more relaxing day, it all depends how much I need.
Did you say you were playing professional sports previously?
Yes, I did for many years ago.
What kind of sports was that?
It was badminton. Yeah.
And what's that?
That is similar to, I mean, it's not similar, but you have a racket, so it's like tennis, but it's the ball is different and the court is smaller. It's actually the fastest sport in the world. So
do you still do that?
I have been a little bit injured in my arm, so yeah, I haven't done it so much, but it actually helped me a little bit because it gets circulation to it. So yeah, so I play just like once a week or once every second week, just for fun. But
how often do you exercise right now?
Exercise I do. I think I do. It's very different because I'm traveling also, but 5 to 6 times per week, I would say.
5-6 times.
Yeah.
Is it cardiovascular and muscle building, or is it one or the other?
It's both. Yeah, I'm dancing also.
Okay.
So and I'm biking and strength training and yoga also.
When you get your blood work checked, everything looks like it's in range, or the things out of range sometimes?
I mean, blood work is always a little bit different, but in general, it's very good. Yeah.
Okay. Now you have a website.
Exactly.
So, what is your website, and what's the goal of your website?
It's rawvegan.se. So I sell my books there.
I'll put the link below. So you have books.
Yeah, exactly. I have 6 paper books in Swedish, and I have other books also that is ebooks that is in English. So that is on my Payhip side, Payhip/rawvegelse.
And what are your books about? Are they recipe books?
Yes, it is. It's a recipes book. So I have different of them. I have like raw vegan Indian food and Italian food and Swedish and Mexican. I have been traveling a lot, so I pick different inspirations from all.
Is the raw food diet popular in Sweden?
I would say it's not as popular now that it was before, like Corona and so on, because many restaurants closed down and the prices have gone up so much, so people really can't afford it. It's actually kind of difficult if you're not doing lots of sprouts and pick your own or grow your own greens and so on. So, but I think, the interest is high. It's more interest to vegan and healthy food, I think, or especially vegan. But yeah, people are open for it, absolutely. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do all my books.
Are there any raw food restaurants in Sweden?
For now, it's not actually. They have some raw vegan options on different places. Oh, it's actually one in Stockholm, Bliss Cafe, but he's only open once a week.
Wow.
It's kind of a gallery at the same time, but he have really, really good food. And that is the only thing. That is the only one that is all raw. But then you have vegan all all vegan on other places. You can get raw.
I know you travel a lot. What brings you to the United States?
I have my boyfriend here, Ocean.
Okay.
So
that's Ocean, who I've interviewed before. I'll put that link below. He's been 100% raw for like 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're visiting him here. Are you doing
exactly.
any teachings here, or food demonstrations, or anything like this while you're in the States?
It haven't been so much of that, we did a vegan festival where we have raw vegan cakes and sell that. So yeah, that is. I mean, we do some small things, and we made an ebook at Miami Fruit also with recipes with fruit. So yeah, that is a really good book if you like fruits and want to do other things than just eat them. Do recipes.
How much of your percentage of your diet is fruit versus eating sprouts and greens?
It really depends on where I am. But I mean, I do eat lots of fruit. It doesn't matter where I am. I always eat lots of fruit. But if I am in a tropical country, I get very excited about it. And there's more nutrition in the tropical fruit also, like the mame sapote and the mango and so on. So.
What's your favorite fruit?
Oh, I think it's the mame sapote and durian.
Wow.
I mean, durian is always my favorite, but because I can't get mame so often, it's only here in the US, and I'm here for like once a year, so I get so excited when I have it. I mean, durian I can have on other places also, you know, but yeah.
Sure.
So I would say that if I had mame and sapodilla also more often, I would say durian is the absolutely number one, but because I can't get those fruits so often, it's like the same place.
Sure. Well, I'm going to put Victoria's contact information, her website, and the information for her books below in the description. Definitely check them out. 4 recipe books, you said?
Oh yeah, I have 6 ebooks, but a few of them are in Swedish. I think I have 4 in English.
4 in English. Okay.
Yes.
Well, check them out. Check out our website, and on your website, can they connect to your YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, definitely. My YouTube channel, and I have my Instagram also, Roviganse, where I post every day in the stories.
Okay, I'll put those links below, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much to be here.
All right, everybody, put your comments or questions below, and we'll have Victoria on as a guest again, maybe via Zoom, to answer some of those questions. But this is just proof, you know. I am a male. I'm doing this for many, many years, but there are a lot of females that can be successful at doing this, and here's one of them. So thank you for watching, everybody. Put your comments, questions below. Thank you, Victoria, everybody. Have a great day and a great raw life.
Yeah, thank you.
Good for your health. This is the